Okay, so the first part, we're gonna go ahead and access Google Class. And share my screen again. Okay, there we go. Now there's different ways that you can access Google Classroom. You can type in classroom.google.com. Another way, if you go to this Google Apps right here that you see, you can also have access to that. So go ahead and access Google Classroom with your AAL credentials. So that's your AAL email. If you're using your personal email, you will not be able to add students. So make sure that you're using your AAL credentials. Let me just show that. Okay. Okay, so once in Google Classroom, I don't have any classes here. So if you taught this in spring or summer, you'll see your classes. You do have the option of hiding those classes. So we want to go ahead and go to this plus sign here where it says create or join a class. So if you click on that, you're going to see the option to join a class or create a class. So we're going to go ahead and create a class. And this menu is going to pop up where you're going to give a class name, sections, subject, and room number. So I teach math and science, so fourth grade. So I will show you an example. G04, Ines Rosa. And then since I'm going to have two homerooms, I can say this is period 1, subject math. And then room number, either your room number or you can type in online. So once you have typed that information, you're going to hit create. So I'm going to go ahead and pause here and wait for everybody to catch up. And once you finish creating that one class, go ahead and type in done on the chat box, please. And one thing that I want to mention is whether you're self-contained or departmentalized, you can add only one class or multiple classes, and you are able to change the class details later. So for example, I teach math and science, so I'll have math period 1, math period 2, and then science period 1 and science period 2. But then you also have the option of having all your math class in one Google class or all your science as well. So go ahead and type in done once you are in this step here. Okay, so again, let me just quickly show that again. I'm not seeing everybody here. So once you access Google Class, you're gonna see this plus sign here on the top right. You wanna click that and then hit create class and then type in your class details and then hit create at the bottom. And once again, make sure you're using your AO credentials. That way your students will automatically show whenever you add them in a few seconds. Okay, a few more minutes. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to add your students and your support staff now. So you wanna go to the people tab here. You wanna click there and you're gonna see the teachers and then a student's title. To add your support staff, you're gonna go to this invite teacher plus sign here. Click on that and you're gonna start typing their name. So for example, this spring semester I worked with Ms. Perez and Ms. Yarbo. So if I wanted to add them, I will start typing Ms. Perez name. And her name should come up. Now you don't have to invite her or your support staff one at a time. You can do multiple invitations. So if I was inviting Ms. Yarbo, see her here, and then I'll hit the invite. Let's say that you added someone by accident. You can go to the three dots here and hit remove. Okay, now that we have our rosters, we're gonna go ahead and take a few minutes to add our students. So to do that, we're gonna go here under students, click the invite students, and we're gonna go ahead and start typing their names. And the same thing applies with, as the same way that we added teachers, we don't have to do one student at a time. You can add your whole roster and then hit the invite. And one thing that I want to mention, you see the invitation that I sent to Ms. Perez and Ms. Yarbo, it says invited. So once they accept my invitation, their name will be bolded. So the same thing with the students. So we're gonna take a few minutes here and stop so that you can add your roster. And if you've already done it, go ahead and click done on the chat box. Thank you. So let me show, my first student is Sebastian Agui. So you see, I start typing his name and I will select, I see the search result here and I'll just select him. My second student is Roxana. And like I mentioned, you don't have to send individual invitations. You can add your whole roster and send them, invite them all at once. So go ahead and do this while I show you. If at any time anyone has any questions, feel free to add them in the chat box. So Ms. Awa, on your question, the former students should be in the system already, but the new students, if they're not uploaded yet, we'll probably have to contact Ms. Pickens for that. She's the one that adds them. We don't have any access to adding new students. So that will be on the administrative side. Ms. Bagley, you can either add last name first or first name, and you'll see the search result and then select that student. It does work better if you start typing the first name. So I do want to caution you. I came through something here. I have a student named Daniel Garcia, and as you see, there's two Daniel Garcias, Daniel Fuentes Garcia. So for this student, I will have to come back and check the ID. You see, this first Daniel is 176,239, and then the other one is 175,232. So if you have a similar names, you want to double check the ID. So same thing here. I have two Joseph Hernandez. So I'm gonna have to come back for this student until I have his student ID. So as you see, I've added most of my roster here. So once you have done that, you can hit the invite and it will send an invitation to them. Oh, one thing on the stream, you'll see your class code. It is not necessary for you to share this class code with your student since we're using our G Suite. Whenever they log in to Google Class, they will automatically see the invitation to join the class. So all they have to do is hit the join button. So you don't have to share this class code here. And as you see, my students are light gray, they're invited. And once they have joined, you'll be able to see the students that have joined and their name will be bolded. And you can always come back for like example, those students that I did not know their student ID, I can come back and uh, add them once I know their student ID. So it seems like the new students are not on the system yet, Ms. Backley. So on the teacher side, you see, I sent the invitation to Ms. Yarbo and she has accepted my invitation and you see her name is now bolded. Okay, are there any questions before I move on to the next presenter on whether how to logging into Google Class, adding teachers or students, or how to create a class? Yes, that's correct, Ms. Leon. If the student is new, you can always come back and add them on this invite student button. Okay, so up next, we have Mr. Rivas, and he will be showing us how to integrate Google Class and Sabbath, formerly known as Pearson.
Pearson. Thank you, Mr. Estroza. That was very refreshing. Okay. So today I'm going to show you how to integrate Sabbath with Google Classroom and how to add a. So the first thing I'm going to do is share my screen with you. Okay. So on all of the steps that Mr. Estroza showed you, that is creating your class, adding students, and sending the invitations. Okay. Obviously, they have done this already. We're going to move on to the next step, which is to connect our primary curriculum, basically where most of the work comes from. So for this, you're gonna have to log in into Google Classroom as well as into Sabbath Realize. I already have that. I already created my class. I did this last night. I created my math class yesterday since I'm also departmentalized, just like Ms. Rosa. I created a class for every subject that I teach, and I added my students, and let's see here, one of them accepted already the invitation, and this is good because this is since it's going to allow me to assign work later. So now that you have created your class, we're gonna go to Sabbath, and it's a good thing to have both of them open in the browser at the same time. Now, I'm going to give you a few seconds for you to find your credentials for Sabbath. Realize if you haven't done so, please log in. If you are new and if you don't have a credentials or you don't have an account yet, then we're just going to have to wait until you get them because you do need an account for both. However, the good thing about the integration is that it's seamless. That is, our students no longer need a separate account for Sabbath Realize. Basically, their account for Google Classroom will take over that. Now, you as a teacher will need both. So once you get done, please put done that you have completed step, that is that you have logged in. I know most of us already have say Sabbath Realize in our browser and it's the same credentials as before. Thank you. So one important step, okay, it's that for you to be able to assign work, a student will have to have accepted your invitation. So what I would caution you is before you start assigning work, so you don't have to do this too many times, that is assigning the same work over and over, make sure that pretty much my class, most of your homeroom or most of your students have accepted the invitation, so you don't have to do these, every time you get a new child, because if not, you're gonna end up assigning work and that might be too time consuming. So I normally wait until everyone has accepted them. Typically, like what I did in summer school is I helped everyone before we even get to accepting the invitation. So the way will make things easier for me when I was assigning them to do. All right. So now the next step, what we're going to do is here on Sabbath Realize, we are going to go to settings. There's two routes for this, but the easiest one is if we go click here on this icon that looks like the old messenger icon, and we're gonna click on settings. then we're going, and we are going to look, let me go ahead. Okay, for account linking. Now, if you are new, and this is the very first time that this window may look a little different. If you have never done this, it may look more like this. Instead of saying import more classes, it's going to say get. Go ahead and click on it if this is the first time you do this. But the majority of us, since we have done this already, it's going to support more Google classes. And the reason is we have done this already. You also have the option to disconnect your Google Classroom account from Savas, but you know the risk that you take the risk that the classes that you have added don't sync anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on import more Google classes. And then we get a new window called Class Sync Web App. Now, as you saw earlier on my Google Classroom, I had a whole bunch of classes, but the last two, those were like my old summer classes that I'm gonna archive. Now, this class is the one, my Mysterious Math class is that class that I created last night. Now, this step is very important because I assign that curriculum to, you know, my corresponding class. So I have, you know, Press collaborated with me and another teacher over the summer. So this is where she will add my view, the curriculum that she teaches. When I click on Mr. Rivas Math class, and then I'm gonna be able to add that program that matches that class. So I teach math 5th grade, so I'm on my the appropriate program. So it will be this one, Ambition Math 2.0 grade 5. I'm gonna click on it, and then I'm gonna click on import class. All right, and it's been imported already, okay? I'm gonna click on finish and view classes, and because I want the class, it's a Google, the Savas class, it's a Google Classroom class. All right. Now, I always want to make sure that this transaction took place. So let's see, at the moment, I don't have any more classes to import. So I'm going to go ahead and look at classes. And then you're going to see that my class was called Mysterious Math class. If you see the Google Classroom icon, it will tell you that it's now synchronized or connected with Google Classroom. Now, this class, for instance, here, that says 5th grade. This one, I never connected it to Google Classroom because it was before we had Google Classroom. So, you know, I never had the need to connect it, to synchronize them. Another thing that you want to make sure is that your class is synchronized with your Google Classroom. So you can see here when it was last updated. So this one was just updated 2 minutes ago. If for any reasons, once you go back to Google Class, you're not seeing that the work's being there, just hit, you can do it manually by hitting this button here. At the moment, I don't have anything to sync because I haven't assigned anything to anyone. But you can click here and then it will manually synchronize with Google Classroom. Okay, now that we have added this class, I'm gonna show you how to assign work to your students. Now this works if your students have accepted the invitation. As I showed you earlier, I had one child that accepted the invitation already. So we're gonna go to the home page. Now this is a math class. So I'm gonna look for the math program for 5th grade. So here it is. This is my math 5th grade. I'm gonna click on this. And let's see where we are. Let's say that I'm going to assign the very first topic. Topic 1 has, let me see, 5 lessons, okay? So let's say it's a Monday and I want my students to work on place value, okay? I'm gonna click on place value. This is lesson 1-1. Now here you have the option to assign everything, like all the activities. What I will caution you is to make sure that, you know, that all the files are well, that is that they, you know, if you have any videos, if the videos have not been corrupted, if you have a, I guess, a PDF that is still there, that you have, that Salvas Relay has not moved it. You also want to, if you know, that the work is not redundant, because they may have access to this already in their consumables, or also that is not much though. I mean, I know I teach math and I know it's a core subject, but it's only one subject. So, you know, if you assign everything, it might be way too much to do in one sitting. So when you look at your grades or at the progress, it might show that the students were not able to complete everything. So let's go ahead and assign something right now. Let's assign, say here, place value practice, okay? I'm just gonna assign this is for demonstration purposes. I'm gonna click here. On assign. Oops, that's not it. This is the one I saved. I'm gonna click on that box there. And let's see here. Let's say I wanted to do this sometime on week 2. And week 2 begins on August 31st. And maybe I'm gonna give them a couple of days to do it. So they can turn it in by Wednesday. Again, we do this typically in 1 day. And then I can give them some instructions here, okay? I'm gonna say, please watch video and answer questions. Okay, let me spell this. All right. Then you have to look for that class, okay? Now I have a lot of classes. I wanna make sure that I'm not getting confused with my other math classes. So my class, I titled it Mr. Rivas Math Class. And I have many other classes, but this is the, you know, the only one where I did not put a Roman number. So I'm gonna click on my very first one. And I have a student already, I'm able to do this step. If you just did this morning and none of your students have accepted the invitation right now, you may not be able to see your class just yet until at least someone accept this. Now, I'm gonna assign it, but the person that will be able to submit this as of right now will be able, because it's the only one that has accepted my invitation. So if you're still waiting on the rest of my class like I am, I may have to do this step again and again. So it might be helpful if everyone, you know, accept your invitations before you start assigning any work though. Okay, this is how you integrate Canvas with Google Classroom, okay? Let me see here, classwork, okay. And you can see, now I'm gonna go back to Google Class, and when I click here on their classwork, I'll be able to see that assignment in the directions that are assigned for that student. Click on it. This is what the student will see, and it will take me there automatically. The students don't have to log, you need a second credential. They don't have to log in again into Salvas Realize. It's just one step. Now, another thing, the many of the hopefully we'll be able to do it in the future is how to integrate Success Maker. As of right now, as of this moment, from what I understand, there is not a seamless connect to Success Maker. So Ms. Punch had this great idea yesterday of linking the account. So what she did, she put our link. She created she put our link, but you still have to enter the it's, your credentials for Success Maker. So if you click on it, it'll take you to our account or AL account, and any students can enter their credentials here. At some point, since Sava's on Success Maker, I think that you will be able to do this without having to enter your credentials. Again, basically, using the same credentials you have for Google Classroom. But I think that this is a question was asked yesterday on our Sava's training, and it looks like there's not a seamless way to connect them both. Another program that you can connect is BrainPop, and for that we do have an account, but we will have to add our students into the user account. Well, thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to let us know in the chat.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Rios. So there is a question from Ms. E. Martinez. It says, can you show us how to create the link for Success Maker?
Oh, okay, sure. So, well, first of all, I'm gonna copy this, okay? This is our domain. It has to, you cannot just Google Success Makers, it will take you to the commercial account. So what I did is I created an assignment, just like I'm doing right now. And I titled it Success Maker. And so I teach math, I put math. Then below is I put some directions and the link, and I put, please work on Success Maker for at least 20 minutes. And then I set the link. And then let me see, let me move this. I assign it at, points, a due. So a due date could be something like, I don't know, daily, or let's say I'm gonna put just 26. And then for topic, created a topic, and I title it Success Maker. So that way everything will be under the Success Maker tab, and then I assign it. Next time that my students log in, they'll be able to see that link. So here it is, the new link. We posted at 9:45, and then you can just click on it, and it'll take them to the Success Maker. And the way you just make sure that they are entering that correct one, and hopefully they will have saved their credentials like that, and they can just click sign in there. But they do have to enter their credentials, unlike Savas, where you don't need to do, you can bypass this. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Rios. That was really helpful.
Thank you.
Okay, so up next we have Ms. Adams, and she will be going over how to add assignments in Google Class. So Ms. Adams, whenever you're ready, you can share your screen.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm going to show you all how to add an assignment. I will also show you all how to put Success Maker on your stream page versus making it an assignment as well. Okay, can you all see it?
Yes.
Okay. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the 3 lines right here, because I know that a lot of people ask, how can I get rid of the notifications if I have a if I'm support staff or if I'm administrator or something like that. So what I would say, the first thing to do is to go to settings, click on those 3 lines where your click is and go on settings. And then you can look at notifications where it says email and just move that toggle over so you won't get the notifications. Or if you want to receive the notifications, you can toggle back over so that you can get comments on your posts, comments that you're mentioning and things like that. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is go back to the class. And there are 3 things at the top of the screen, and it just kind of depends on what device you're using, because all of us are on computers in the building. A lot of times the stream, classwork, people, and grade will be at the top of your screen. Mr. Rivas, can you mute your screen? Because I'm getting feedback. Thanks. Okay, so stream is the page that gives all of the notifications and the announcements. So whatever you add to your class is gonna come up on the stream page. So if you have an announcement or something like that, or if there's new classwork, the students as well as yourself, you're gonna see it on the stream page. What I wanna say is you can add Success Maker right here where it says share with your class. You can cut and paste that link right there to make sure that they're going to the AAL Success Maker page, and just keep it on the stream page so that they can go in there and access it without having to create an assignment and have to choose a date and grades and things like that. So I'm going to show you a stream page that already exists so that I can show you how to move information up and down on that page. This is my new class for this coming school year, but let me go back to our summer school class that I had with Miss Martinez. So this is the stream page. And like I said, everything that you post in your Google Classroom appears on the stream page. Okay, so if there's something that's important, then you might want to adjust your settings. Let's see. Go to the wheel that's on the top right-hand side, and you can scroll down. Right here, you have your class details. You can scroll down to where it says stream, and you can say the students can post and comment. Students can only comment, or only teachers can post and comment. I don't really like all of the discussion on my stream page. That's just a personal preference. So I don't want the students commenting, because that's the way that I want to communicate with everyone. So I don't want all the feedback on my main page. So usually I just say only the teachers can comment, but I have seen this summer where we did allow the students to post and comment as well. Also, you can either show attachment and details on your stream page, and let me go back to that stream page, and I'll go back there in a minute. Or you can condense the notifications, or you can hide all notifications. So once again, this is just your preference for your particular classroom. And then you make sure you save that information so that the adjustments can be made. So now when I go back to my stream page, pretty much you can see all of the attachments and things like that. Nothing is condensed. Right here, you see there's a student comment. But when we initially started the page, there was very important information, like here's my contact information and here was Ms. Martinez's contact information. Now, if that's something that you want to remain at the top all the time, all you have to do is click on the 3 dots here and say move to the top. So I was pretty anal about that. So I'm like, oh, something got moved down that I thought was really important. So I would always go back and move it to the top. Once it's at the top, only thing you can do at that point is edit, delete, or copy a link. So if you see here, here's our Zoom information. So we tried to keep that at the top. And when they had ancillary, also we tried to keep that information at the top. So when the kids go into their Google Classroom, they were able, that was the first thing that they were able to see was the stream page. Here's brain pop information, just things like that. And like I said, when the assignments were posted, it did show that there was a new assignment that was posted on the main page. Say it again. Is there any way to freeze it? No, not that I'm aware of. I mean, that's something I'll look into to see if we can freeze it. But like I said, I just kind of moved it to the top all the time. But also I controlled what was able to go on my stream page as well. Okay, Next is classwork. I'm gonna go back to my current class for this school year. If you notice that there's no classwork here at all, the first thing, because I did Belfort 4th grade, which means myself and Miss Castillo will use just one class in order to cover everything. I titled it Belfort 4th grade. And what I'm going to do is now create. The first thing you want to do, if you all are going to use as a grade level, if you're going to use the same class, what you can do is go down, well, hit create and go down to topic. And then I can say we have math, add, create another topic for the next subject, reading, ELA, add, and if you notice, those subjects are populating. Science, and if you're self-contained, you can do this as well. Social studies, and I'll put writing separate since 4th grade focuses on writing as well. Okay, so those are the topics. So I'm in Belfort 4th grade, and then I have all of the topics added. You can also remove them, rename them, copy a link, move up and down, however you want to. Remember those, the 3 dots, the wheel, and these 3 lines are always your friend when it relates to settings. Okay, so just click on those and I'm pretty sure you'll find the answer you're looking for at that particular time. Okay, the next thing I want to do is add an assignment. So once again, you hit the create. When you see the plus, that means you're adding something. So I want to add an assignment, a quiz assignment, a question, material, or reuse something that I've already posted. So if I click on assignment, pretty much like Mr. Rivas was doing earlier, you can just put the title in. Math. I'm going to call it math worksheet. Okay. And then I'm going to say, please complete 1 page a day. So over here, it tells me this is the class that I'm in. Because I have several classes, I chose the Belfort 4th grade class. Make sure, like Ms. Award asked earlier, can I just get rid of last year's classes? Yes, go ahead and archive those classes if you don't want to see them. I only kept 4th grade summer school because I wanted to use it as an example in this training. So, and if you archive something, you can restore it as well. So I want this to go to all the students, or I can select certain students that I want to receive it. So if you're doing it based on tiers, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, you can also select, those students that you want to receive it. I want this to be 100 points, or you can say I want it ungraded. The due date, you can choose the date and time. And then because it's math, I want it to go under math. So make sure you choose a topic. If you're choosing to use topics, make sure when you're assigning something, you choose the topic. Because if you don't choose a topic, it's just going to all be at the top of your classwork. And I'll show you the example in just a minute. So I'm going to add, when you're adding an assignment, you can either get it from Google Drive, a link, a file, or YouTube. A file means it's on your hard drive or somewhere like that, or it's on your flash drive. Google Drive is where I store all the assignments that I want to put in Google Classroom because it has unlimited storage space. With our G Suite account, we have the unlimited Google space in our Google Drive. So I want to use something from my Google Drive to add. So when I go to my drive, I want to add this 4th grade packet. And remember, I said, please do a page a day. So that's why I did it, because it's actually a packet. So I insert it, and it says student can view the file. Student can edit the file or make a copy for each student. I would want to make a copy for each student so that they can have their own assignment. If you do student can edit file, all of the kids will be working in the same file. So just make a copy for each student and it will appear under their name. And then what I would do is just assign it. Right here, I'll hit assign. I don't want to do it right now because I don't feel like I don't want to go back and have to delete it from what I assigned to the students. Okay, so let me go back to summer school for a minute so that you all can see how that worked. So remember, here's your stream page. All of the assignments will appear on the stream page based on your settings. If you see that this is too much for you, please go into your settings and make the adjustments. Classwork. Remember what I said, make sure you have everything under a topic. So when we made assignments, I taught math and science this summer, and Miss Martinez did the reading and science as well. And so when I added something, I added it under the math. When she added something, she added it under reading and science, okay? So, but there was sometimes where we didn't assign it under a topic. So we assigned it, oh, ecosystem word problems. I forgot to choose the topic, so it automatically appeared at the top of the screen. So there may be sometimes you're like, oh, I forgot to choose the topic. And it will just appear at the top of classwork, okay? So when we talk about a question, that was something that you could add as classwork as a question. So here I did ecosystem math word problems. This was the question for everybody. Create 2 math word problems using information from your ecosystem. And so pretty much from there, the kids were able to answer the question on there. Next, we have just an assignment. And right here, this assignment, it was an end of the year test that I assigned from Savas. And that's pretty much what Mr. Rivas showed you. So this is how it appeared to the students. And then they go, it takes them directly to it. Right here is material. Material is just it's like resources that you want the kids to be able to reference. So right here under, because we talked about ecosystems this summer, Ms. Martinez created an ecosystem, BrainPop ecosystem reference for each ecosystem. So here's forest, desert, grasslands, and when you click on it, it takes you to the BrainPop. And it takes you to that to tell you about that particular ecosystem. It doesn't have to be a video. You can use a worksheet. You can use a different form of a video. Whatever reference you want to use is what you would put under material if it doesn't require them to do anything, but just to reference. So an assignment is something that you want them to complete. A quiz is something that you want them to complete. Also a question, if it's not on paper form and it's something that you want to create and you just want them to answer, because like say for instance, it could be an exit ticket or something like that. And then you can like, okay, I'm gonna pose a question at the end of class and you all can answer it. You're able to use question to do that, and material is just reference. And if there's something that you want to reuse that you've posted already, you can do reuse. And once again, here is people, which are the students and the teachers or help or assistants. And here are grades. And this pretty much sums up, you know, if something is missing, someone hasn't completed something, or you didn't assign. And just to go back to Ms. Melton's question when she asked earlier, if you assign something through Savvis, and then you add a student later, make sure you go back and assign it to that student, because it doesn't automatically assign to the student. If the student had not logged in and accepted to be in the class, when you assigned it, you're gonna have to go back and assign it to them. So make sure all your students have accepted and are a part of your class before you start assigning from Savvis. I think this completes my presentation.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Adams, for
You're
sharing.
welcome.
So up next, we're gonna have Ms. Tang explain the writing component in Google Class, or how to write and upload a document. I've had several lower grade teachers ask me, what if I have a worksheet or a document that I want the students to write on? So just a quick note on that, you are able to write only on iOS or Android mobile devices. But Ms. Tang is going to show us an alternative way of how to do it on the computer. So, and then after her presentation, we'll take a 10-minute break. So Ms. Tang, whenever you're ready, you can share your screen.
Thank you, Mr. Nostroza. So good morning, my name is Ms. Tang, and basically I'll be sharing with you guys how to edit a file that was assigned from the teacher, and how to upload and submit it from the student side. And this specific application I'll be going over is called DocHub. So I'm going to start and share my screen. I'm going to start it with the teacher's account. So here is my Google Classroom. I have posted a new assignment on the demo to one of my students. So in here, just a quick side notes for the teachers. When you're assigning some like a worksheet from Pearson, or like an additional worksheet that you have it, you want a student to do some additional practice, it is very important that you choose the option from student. The default is set for student can view the file only, but make sure that you change to students can edit the file. So for the application that I'm going to show you guys later, the DocHub, it's work for the PDF and then the JPG document. So I have changed this to student can edit a file and then go ahead and save it and assign. So now that's the part for assigning this document, and now I'm going to one of my students' account. So in here, I'm under one of my students' G Suite account, and I'm gonna go into my Google Classroom, and this is the assignment that I posted and I assigned for the student. So in here, once you click into the worksheet, the PDF, you should be able to see a drop-down menu says open with. And when you click on that little arrow icon, and then to see if you have a connected app that says DocHub, PDF, sign and edit. So I want you guys to take a minute to see. You can, to do this practice, you can just randomly attach a PDF, a file in your Google Classroom, and then to see if you have access to this DocHub. So if you'll be able to have access on this application, please simply just type yes on the chat so I'll know that we can keep going with it. If not, let me just see for a minute. Okay, so if you don't see the .hub right on there for your connected apps, you can click on Connect More Apps, and that'll bring you to the G Suite Marketplace, where you can just search this application. And then you can just go ahead and click Connect that, and then it will automatically download it for you, and then that will link it to your Google Classroom. So that's called .hub. Okay, so you'll have to click on that open with, and then click into this .hub PDF sign and edit, and it'll bring you to a .hub account. So this is like basically your .hub account, and that currently I'm signed in under the students hub. So in here, it's pretty much like how you're gonna work on a piece of paper, but it's everything turned into digitally. And for the first time user, you will be prompted to grant the access. So just click allow, and then you'll be able to manage your Google Drive. And here is basically the feature. You'll be able to add a drop. You can draw a box and then type it. And you can move it up and down to see where you want to put it. And you can, there's also have a freehand feature that you can write it. So currently, because I am using my laptop, so I don't have a touch screen function in my laptop. So the only way that I can write, it just control my mouse and do my answer. So in here, you can simply write the answer. 1,240. So while I was answering the question, you'll see on the left-hand corner, it says saved, but it is very important that it is actually saved the document in the hub, not in the Google Drive. So whenever the student are finishing their worksheet, we'll have to tell the student that, okay, once you're done with your worksheet and you're ready to submit it, you are going to click this menu button and then click on download, export. So it is highly recommended that you will tell your student to save their worksheet in the drive, which is their Google Drive. The reason why I don't recommend to just download it into your computer, it's a little bit complicated to tell them that, oh, you maybe save it on your desktop or on a certain file, and then they have a hard time to find it. And there's also, we can submit it through Google Classroom, but it's a little bit messy. They have to create a link, and you need to find the link in order for them to submit. So the best way I would recommend is just let them save it in their Google Drive. So before I save it, I want to change and then go ahead and rename this document. So I'm going to choose Drive. Export to Drive. Okay. And I'm go back to Google Classroom. And in here, I'll be able to add the assignment that I just finished it and then save it in my drive. So you'll click on Google Drive. The default setting goes to the recent file that you opened it, but you can, just to make sure that you're in the right place, you can click on My Drive. But this is the one that I demo, and then the one I do the rename and do some of the questions. So you will just go ahead and insert that. And you'll be able to turn that in. So this is another worksheet that it's good for the lower grade level. So basically it's the same feature that you'll be able to draw a box and then put your name, do the text feature. And then in here for the answer, the student will be able to use the freehand feature to do the answer. So it's pretty much the same feature that I used for my previous worksheet. But like I said earlier, so like Mr. Nasrosa mentioned earlier, for the it's for the writing and freehand feature, it will work better if the student have the touchscreen function on their device, like tablet or phone. So it will automatically give them the pen and they'll be able to write it with their finger. And that's pretty much ending with my presentation. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Tang. There is a question in the chat says, when the students save to their drive, will they have to make a new copy or just edit the same file?
I'll say for a safe side, I will let a student save it and choose as the create, because I think there's a two option. The first one is just save it under the existing document, but I'll guide the student to just click on that, create a new copy of it, so that makes sure it won't be like duplicated in a separate folder.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Tang, for sharing. So at this time, we're going to take a 10-minute break. It is 10:15. We'll be back at 10:25.
The Doc Hub PDF sign and edit link, the function, can you simply type yes on the chat so I'll know? And if there's a lot of teachers that need to go over how to install the application, I can do that as well. So right now I'm in my Google Classroom and I'm going to just do the demo. So I'm gonna start it, my classwork, and create a assignment just following Ms. Adams' steps. And in this time I would choose a PDF file or any other file to see if I'll be able to add it and modify it. Okay, just for example that I will upload this PDF file. So I'm assigning the assignment now. I don't think I changed the setting. So make sure that you are going to change student can view file into student can edit the file. I'm going to click save again. Okay, so now I'm done with the teacher side. I'm going to the student account. Just a minute. PDF. I don't wonder why. I just assigned a new one. It didn't show right here. So, so for Ms. Leon's question, I do have the DocHub application before I discovered this feature since last year. So I think it's automatically installed in my G Suite account as well as my Gmail account. So I didn't encounter that problem. However, if you don't have that drop down menu showing the DocHub, this is the steps that you will go to. So you click on connect more apps. We are going to search DOCHUB. And this is the, so this is like our app store. And you're going to search for that and look for this application and go ahead and connect that. So once you connected that, you can double click in here. And it shows that has been, the DocHub PDF sign-in ad has been connected. And once you go back to your open with drop-down menu, you should be able to see it right there. You need to click into it to bring it to your DocHub account. If you have any questions, please type in chat and we'll be able to walk around and help you install this application. Okay, so I didn't see any questions type in the chat box, so I am going to move on. So again, this is your DocHub, and you'll be able to do any edit, do answering the question by typing it in sentences, by using the A text feature, or you can use the freehand feature to write it by using your mouse or finger if that's a touch screen function. So once the student done with the worksheet, it is important that I know it's saying saving on the left-hand top corner, but it is not saved in your drive. It is saved in the hub at this time. So it is very important that you'll let the student know you are going to export these into their Google Drive. So once they're done with their worksheet, you don't have to, we really doesn't have to like click save or anything. It's just saved automatically in the hub. All you need to do is click and download and export. And have the student choose the drive, export to Google Drive. So at this time, you can choose, you're gonna update existing new version or create a new copy. I'm gonna go ahead and create a new copy of this. So you're gonna choose that. You're gonna save in the drive. Let's see. So I rename my file, and then you're gonna go ahead and click export to drive. Okay, now it says we have successfully saved your document to your G Drive. You're gonna click on OK. And I'll go back to my Google Classroom. Go to the assignment. And then in order for the student to submit their file, they need to attach the file before they mark as done. So you're gonna click on Add or Create. The student will click on Add or Create. You're gonna pull it out from your Google Drive. Okay, so the default will go to the recent. So right now I'm under students account. I'm gonna click on My Drive. And this is the one that we just updated. So you'll see the new rename listing update. And you select that and you're gonna click Insert. So you will see that the PDF was attached with this assignment, and just make sure everything was good, and then you'll be able to turn this into your teacher. Turn in. Turn in. So that's pretty much. And then the student also will be able to make changes if they want, and then they can unsubmit it and then redo the attachment once again if they want to do any changes. So this is the update one.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Tang, for going over that again with us. And just as a reminder, the video call is being recorded. So if you have to go back and see the steps that she did, I will send the link out later on when the meeting is over. So up next, we have Ms. Jefferson, and she'll be explaining how to use Google Forms in your Google class. So Ms. Jefferson, whenever you're ready, you can share your screen.
Okay, yes. Let me start sharing my screen. 1 second. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. I'm sorry, 1 second. Mr. Herrera. Mr. Herrera, I think that's is that your volume? I think everybody. Okay. I can still hear. I'm sorry, give me 1 second. Can you, Ms. Patus? Thank you. All right, so I am going to show you how to do Google Forms. So first, we're going to start with of course, you go to your classroom and then go to your drop down and go to Forms. When you go to Forms, you have the option to click a blank quiz, or you can start your own quiz. So I'm going to go ahead. I already started this one for you guys. So here you can go ahead and you can edit what's the name of the quiz or what kind of quiz it is. So you see right here, I just clicked on it and I did the 3 little pigs. And then here you can type in any question that you want it to be. So over here, you can decide if you want it to be a multiple choice question, if they want to check boxes, short answers, paragraphs, drop down. You can also upload files and pictures on the side. And as I scroll down, we'll show more of that. Here, the kids will be able to click and check their answers. They'll submit their answers. Also, too, let me go ahead and say that you can add how many points you want the answers to be. And it can be different. As you can see, it can be different points for certain answers. Click done. And then the children can submit at the end. I did a short answer. The student will just type in the answer. I can't show you that type of answer because I'm not the student, but on the student's end, it would allow the student to type it on the answer. It will not allow the student to edit, but it would allow the student to click any answers and answer. Also here, I adjusted the points as well. Here is where you can upload the picture. As I was saying over here when you're doing your answer. I'm sorry. And you can upload a picture. Over here is where you'll see the children's responses after they respond to the questions. You can also, let me go back to, you can also leave a comment after you go back and check the answers to the students. And then they'll see that when you resubmit, when you send back the quiz after it's graded. And that is pretty much it. Any question? I don't see the questions on the side.
Okay, thank you.
And then, I'm sorry, also, you can also upload this. You can also upload the quizzes to the Google Classroom as well. So how you would do that is you will go back to your classroom. You'll go to classwork, just like you will upload anything else that they explained earlier. Assignment. You'll go to add. You'll go to Google Drive. And then this will be the things that you probably want to add, that you can add. And then you'll just insert it. And then that'll be available for the kids. That's how you do it. And then you can also add that up there as well. Set the points, do the due date just like you would do a regular assignment. Anything I missed? Any additional questions?
Ms. Gooden, about your question, Ms. Monsalve will be going over the rubrics during her presentation. Okay, thank you, Ms. Jefferson. You can stop sharing your screen. And I just wanted to quickly show everybody, I taught a Google Apps class this summer, and the students are also able to create forms and if they want to survey their classmates for if they're doing a project or anything like that. So I just wanted to show you some examples of these are student-made Google Forms from both campuses. I believe this was a 5th grade class. So somebody survey about seasons, Roblox, a party invite, another party invite, and then I shared some with my students, and on the response tab, you can see a summary of the responses as well once you have uploaded to your Google Class. So just wanted to share that with everybody. So up next, we have Ms. Leon, and she will be showing us how to add attachments in Google Class. So Ms. Leon, whenever you're ready, you can share your screen.
Yes, good morning. Thank you, Mr. Nestrosa. Well, my presentation will be on how the students can upload a picture, homework, a video, a file. Like, for example, this summer, we did the project, and most of the time the parent sends the picture, well, they send it to me in my cell phone, and sometimes, you know, your phone can get full of pictures. So how this is what I'm going to teach you how to, if you want them to post them in Google Classroom. So let me share my screen. And again, you're going to need to come to your Google Classroom account. And then you're going to go to classwork. And you're going to click create. And you're going to click where it says assignment. And here you're going to put the name. So let's see that you want them to write 3 or 4 sentences and you want them to post that as a homework on Google Classroom. So you can put homework, unit 1, and you can write your instructions. You can take your time, your spelling skills. And then here, you're gonna come here and put the date, the points, and let's pretend we want this tomorrow. I mean, yeah. We want this next week. And then I'm going to assign. So this is what will you do as a teacher when you want them to upload something to you. It can be a picture, it can be a file, it can be a video, it can be anything, but you want them to post to your Google Classroom. Again, I'm gonna repeat the steps just in case you're writing the notes, but it's pretty simple because it's what other teachers have been doing. Again, create, assignment, the name of the assignment, instructions, the due date, the points, and you're going to click assign. So now I'm going to open an account from a student view. So how he's going to send it to you. And let me open this. I'm going to use this student's account. So he's going to come here. And as you can see here, it says homework unit 1. And it's here. So what he's going to do, the student, he's going to click where it says add or create. So he can bring his Word from Google Drive, a link or file, but I'm gonna use a file. So you're gonna click there. And over here, you're gonna put upload. That means he's gonna bring it from his computer. I'm gonna click where it says pictures. Let's pretend that he saved it there. He's gonna click, open. And you see, it says, yes, you can see it's here. But one thing as a teacher, we have to remind our students that they need to click where it says turn in. Because if they don't do that, they will say, you know what, teacher, I already sent my homework, I already sent this, but you won't be able to see it in the teacher's account because he didn't click turn in. So you had to click here, turn in, and it's gonna say here. So that means when you go to your account as a teacher, you will see that that student turned his work and you can grade it. Do you have, I think that's it, but if you have any questions, just let me know.
Okay.
And I can come to my account and I can see here. I can come to my, where it says people, sorry, classwork. And here it is. And it says one person turned in, which is, and it's right here, so I can grade it. I can check it and I can say, okay, well, and click the assignment and see. And then I can put here the grade. Let's pretend he has 100. I put 100. And then I will say return. The grade is gonna return to him, so that way he can see also his grade as well. Okay, that's it. That's my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Leon, for sharing. So there is a question that says, can you do a step-by-step on adding pictures on a question in a Google form? So let me quickly show you that.
Yes.
On your Google Forms, if you want to add a picture on a question, you're going to see the image icon right here in the middle. You want to click that. And the cool thing about being linked to Google is that you can do a Google image search here. So if I wanted to add, let's say I wanted to add a cake to that question, I'll select that picture and then click insert. And then the picture will upload there. Now, if you just want to add a picture to the form itself, but not to a question, you want to go to this menu bar here, click add image, select your image, and then insert, and it'll be uploaded at the very bottom. So that's two ways to add it. In the question, you go to that menu within that question, or to add it somewhere else, you'll go to this menu over here. Okay, so up next we have Ms. Monsalve, and she'll be showing us how to use rubrics in Google Class. So Ms. Monsalve, whenever you're ready, you can share your screen.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Nostroza. I'm going to share with you how we create rubrics in Google Classroom. This is a very useful tool, and we use this for grade our project-based learning that the students present in the end of the school year. So let me share my screen, and I will show you how we can do this. Okay, so you are here in your Google Classroom, okay, as a teacher. And now you just click on your class. I create this class just for demo purpose. So you are here, and in order to create a rubric, you have to create first an assignment. So you go into classwork, you create an assignment. And later here, you just build your assignment. So you put a title. Let me put an example. For instance, let me put math based learning. And in instructions, you just can type this, this presentation using the template. Sorry, the template attached. Okay. So here, I just wanna attach a slide presentation that I create for all the students can have on a copy of this. I just click here, it's in my Google Drive. And I just wanna select this one and I wanna insert, okay? And here, this is very important, okay? You have to modify this because otherwise the students only can view the file. They don't wanna be able to modify it. So you have to go to the last option here that is say make a copy for each student. So this is very important. So every time the students enter to the assignment, they're gonna have their own copy. They're gonna work in their own copy and they're gonna return to you with their names, okay? So later, I go into the right side when it's the detail of my assignment. So here, this is the part that is Adams explained. So here you have the choice to put in assignment to more classes that you have. Okay, by default, it's in the class when you are created assignment. And also you have the choice here to select all the students, okay? Or just select one student specifically, okay? Later you have your points. It's gonna be graded with 100 points. You select your due date. Let me put it for August the 20th. And in the topic, if you create previously your topic is gonna show up here. I create 2 topics. In my case, I create math, I create science, but it's because it's math project-based learning, I'm gonna select math, okay? And now here is the feature that you have to click in order to create your rubric. So if you click here, you're gonna see 3 options. You're gonna see create a rubric, reuse a rubric, or import from an spreadsheet, okay? So for presentations purpose, I'm gonna use the first one, create a rubric. So I'm gonna head and I'm gonna put create. And here is gonna be the window with the rubric builder. So what is the option that I have here? First of all, by default, you have just scoring. If you wanna put points in your rubric, so if you want to do it or no, so you can just select and select this. I'm gonna leave it by default. And you're gonna have to start creating your criterion, okay? According to the rubric that you wanna put. So I have here in my Google Sheet and a rubric, okay, that I use for grade the project-based learning the last school year. So I just have it here, and I just wanna copy everything in my rubric that I'm creating, okay? So my criterions are content, comprehension, presentation and organization, creativity, and effort, okay? So I'm just going ahead and I just wanna start doing my first criterion. And each criterion is gonna have a point list. So it's exceed expectations is gonna get 20 points for as point. The score is gonna be 20 points. If they meet expectation, it's 50 points. If there is met basic expectation, it's 10 points. Basic standard almost met, it's 5 points, and minimum standards not met, 0 points. Okay, so I'm gonna create this that I have it in my Google Sheet, in my rubric, in my Google Classroom. So I just wanna start copy this and just copy, and I just wanna paste here my first criterion. And also I'm gonna copy the description. This is optional if you wanna put it, but I highly recommend it to put it so the students, when open the assignment, they know, what criterions means. So I just wanna copy the explanation. And I just wanna put it here. So you can type more things as you wish. So in here, I just wanna start putting the points levels, okay, for this criterion. So for instance, my first one is 20 points. So I just put 20. You can type it, or you just can use the scroll here. And I just put for 20 points, it's gonna be exceed expectations. I just copy this. You can type also. You can type it. And if you want to, you can put a description, okay? What's mean exceed expectations? So I'm gonna leave it in blank for just demonstration purpose. And I'm gonna continue to add my next point level. So you just go here and click when you say add a level, okay? And I'm gonna do the same for my next point level. So the next one is 15. It is a meet expectation. So I just wanna, you can use the scroll here. You can go until 15, or you can type it like that. And I just, you can write this. I'm gonna copy, but also you just can type. And again, you can write a description if you want. And the same way, I'm gonna create the next point levels. So I just wanna create the next one. When it say that plus sign here, say add a level, just click. And I'm gonna add the next one. And I just wanna put the points that is 10. 10. Okay, and I'm gonna do it for the number 5 and for the number 0. So 5 is basic standards almost met. And the next one is 0. And minimum standards not met. So like that, okay? So you finish your first criterion, okay? And if you wanna add more criterion, so this is totally up to you. So you just can put like that, add a criterion, click like that, and you can do the second one and keep going. But there is another option in the 3 dots here. You can delete if you don't want it. So you delete this criterion. And there is an option here in the first criterion that I create in the 3 dots that you can duplicate that criterion. So you just modify the title and the description. So you don't have to type again, exceed expectations, mixed expectation, because that is gonna be repeated in all your criterions. So you just click duplicate criterion, and you're gonna have everything, and we're just gonna change the title of your criterion and the description. So I'm gonna do that because my next criterion is comprehension. So I just wanna change it, comprehension, and I wanna put the description. I'm gonna copy the description also. Okay, and I don't wanna modify the points levels because it's gonna be the same for this criterion. Okay, and again, I just put I'm going to my 3 dots, and I select duplicate criterion. And I just duplicate that criterion, and I'm gonna do the same for the next criterion, that is presentation and organization. And I just wanna modify the title of that criterion and the description of that criterion. Okay. So far I have content, I have comprehension, I have presentation and organization. And because I have 2 more, I just wanna do it again, duplicate criterion. And I just wanna copy the next one, that is creativity. And I just wanna do the creativity. And I just gonna copy this and paste the description again here. Okay, you can type more things if you like. But so far I have creativity, presentation, comprehension, content. So I wanna add the last one. Again, I'm going to my 3 dots and I put duplicate criterion and just wanna copy the last one, that is effort. And I just wanna change the criterion title to effort. And that's it. So if you see the score is over 100 now because I adding 5 criterions, okay? All criterions, the maximum points levels is up to 20, okay? So I have content and I check again, content, comprehension, presentation, creativity, effort, okay? And when everything is done, you have to save. Don't forget that, this is important. So you just save and you have the rubric attached to your assignment, okay? Later, you just go here on the top of your assignment page and you have the choice to assign right now, to assign for later, or to save at the draft. Because maybe you wanna do modifications later, so you can always save it and you can open again and do, you know, any modification that you want. So I'm gonna assign it, okay? Okay, and it's assigned and it's here. If you see my classwork screen, is under my topic math project-based learning. And also the students can see it in the screen, okay? Math project-based learning, okay? So that is all that you have to do as from the teacher's side. But now let me show you how the students see the assignment with the rubric, okay? And how they can turn into you, okay? So, okay, let me go to here. I'm logging here with a student account, okay? And if you see, she has in my class, she has another assignment that is math project-based learning. So she can enter like that to the class, okay? You can go in here to click, and this is the view that the student is going to have. If you see, the students is gonna see all the rubric that you create, okay? So the students is gonna know your expectations, okay? She's gonna be able to read it. Content and the maximum punctuations, comprehension, presentation and organization, creativity, and effort, okay? So all that the students need to do is just click in a template that you attach, okay? You can click it, okay? And she is gonna complete the presentations. So let me put, for instance, the name is Marlene Chavez, okay? And that's it, it's saved automatically in Drive. So she just need to go back to here and she needs to turn it. And this is important again, as mentioned Ms. Leon before, the students need to turn it. So that's the only way that you can see the student works. So let me tune in. And it's gonna be on a message that is say, one attached will be submitted, okay? And they need to put turn in, okay? And the student submit his work already. So let me go back to the side, to the teacher view. I'm in teacher view now with my account, okay? Now I'm gonna go to my class and I'm gonna see who turned in, okay? Again, let me go back. You just click on the screen, or you can go to classwork too, and you just can click in Math Project Based Learning, or from your screen, you just click here, and you're gonna see that Marlene Chavez turning his work. So you just click in the presentation, okay? And you're gonna see all the things that she did. And you're gonna be able here, look on the right side, to grade it. For instance, for content, she put a lot of things. It was very good content. So you can type like that, 20, that is maximum punctuation, or you just can select like exceed expectations, meet the expectations, meet basic standards, okay? So let me put exceed expectations, okay? And later you just hide this and you go to the next criterion. So for comprehension, it was exceed expectations too. For presentations, let me put it meets expectations, so it is 15. For creativity was exceed expectations. And for effort was exceed expectations too, okay? So you see that Google Classroom is gonna score the work automatically. So it's 95 her grade, okay? So also here, you can put a comment to the students. So you can put excellent work. You can post a comment, okay? And also you have to do this, return. So the students is gonna be able to see his grade. So you just put a return. And it say the students will be notified and can check any grade that you left, and you put return, and that's it. I can go back to the student side. I can go back to the student side. Wait. Okay, I'm in the student side now. Let me refresh. Okay, and see, the students can see his grade now, 95. And also can see all the points that you put in each criteria. Okay, again, they can resubmit, they can do modifications, and they can submit it to you again. So, and that is it. That's the end of my presentation. If you have any question, please post it in the chat.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Monsalvo, for sharing that with us. So now we're going to go ahead and transition, and we're going to talk about some Zoom functions. Ms. Harris will be showing us how to do Zoom annotations, and I will be showing you how to use breakout rooms within Zoom. So Ms. Harris, whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and share your screen. You have to unmute Ms. Harris.
Okay, so first, the part I'm going to be sharing is the annotation part. So what you'll do first is you'll go to this share your screen. And when you share your screen, the whiteboard is going to come up and you'll select share. And then you will be able to see the icons on the top of the screen that will allow you to text, draw, stamp, or whatever it is that you're going to be choosing to use for that assignment. However, I like to use this for guided practice. So you can write on the screen, or you can have the students participate and write on the screen as well. You could also clear the screen, or you could choose one of these options, or you could save it as well. Also, you could also use a worksheet. So I'm going to share a worksheet. Okay. Okay, let me put my worksheet at the bottom. Okay. Okay, so this is a worksheet that I've selected, and we would use one of these for guided practice. So we could have the students work it, or we could demonstrate it as well using the annotation by selecting annotate at the top. So F is for frog. You could circle it and you could save it as well, or you could choose one of these options. Okay, let's go to more. Let's see. Okay, on this side, you could also disable annotations. So therefore, if the students are trying to write on it, you could stop them by selecting the option to disable the annotation. And that's it.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Harris, for sharing with us. So up next, I will show you how to create breakout rooms. So it is important that you enable this function in your Zoom profile. If not, it will not show on your Zoom screen. Right now you see mine is already enabled here. It says breakout rooms. So let me show you first how to enable that function in the Zoom profile. So you want to go to your Zoom profile, and that's zoom.com. You want to log in with your AOL email. A word of caution, if you're using your personal email, there's a time limit on your Zoom meetings. It's only allowing you 40 minutes. So you have to make sure you use your school email so that that time can be extended. So in your Zoom profile, you want to go to settings. And then go to in-meeting advanced, and you're going to see here this option, breakout rooms. Make sure that is turned on. If it's off, you will not be able to use it while you're with your students. So you only have to do this once. Once you turn it in at one time, it will be saved. And so you don't have to keep coming back and turning on that function. So once you turn that in, it will allow you to see that function, breakout rooms in Zoom. Let's see if I can annotate. Now, so how to create breakout rooms. You want to click here, it says breakout rooms, and this menu is going to come up. It says, I have an option to do it automatically. That's going to assign however many students are in your Zoom call into however many rooms you decide. I usually do the manual, so because I like to pick the students and the teacher that's going to be with those students. So I'm going to do 2 rooms and then manually. After that, you're going to see this screen. Now, I use this in the spring and summer courses for my, in my spring semester for my small groups. So you see here, breakout room 1, breakout room 2, and you can have more rooms if you please. You have to click here, add room. Now you can rename the breakout room. So one thing that I did was Ms. Yarbo was one of the support staff, so I would write her name just so that I can know that this is Ms. Yarbo's group. And then I also have Ms. Perez. I'm going to use, say, Ms. Adams for now. So Ms. Yarbo and Ms. Adams were helping me in my small groups for math class. I will come here, and then you have to go assign the teacher. So you want to click here, or in Ms. Yarbo's group, you want to assign, and then it's going to display all the students that are on the Zoom call. So I've been asking, I add a student that's not logged in yet. No, you have to wait until that student logs on, but it does have the option to, let's say you created the rooms and then the student logs in, you do have the option to add him to the class. Okay, so I will look for Ms. Yarbo, she's right here. I do have the option here where it says move all participants into break rooms automatically. Make sure you select that. If it's not selected, then the students have to accept your invitation. And that's something that I just figured out. It would have made my life easier if I would have known this option was here. So that way you see that Ms. Yarbo, she was already sent to her small groups. And let's say I wanted to add a student. Just going to pick, let's say if I want to, you can also search their names here. Go ahead and assign Ms. Adams first. Okay, there he is. And it is by alphabetical order, so you can also do that. So as you see, Ms. Adams was also sent to that small group right there. Now let's say, let me go back here. If I wanted to add a student to Ms. Yarbo's small group, I will go and select. So I see Mr. Rivas there. How do I know that they are already there? The names here are dark. It would say invited right next to their name. So, but if you have this option here selected, they are automatically moved to that room. So you don't have to wait for them to join. And then I'll add somebody else to Ms. Adams' small group. Right. Okay. Added Mr. Clark. And I believe the right term says not join. If the student does not join, it will say not join next to their name. But since I have that option, it automatically sends them. Now they do have the option to come back to the main meeting. They'll see it on their screen and it says return to main session. Another option here. So let's say you already have your breakout rooms and the student joins after you have created them. All you have to do is just go to now it says it has a number listed there. So then you have the option to select that student that maybe joined late in your class late. You do have other options here. Allow participants to return to the main session. You want to make sure you select that if you want them to come back and jump into your main session. You also have the ability to close the rooms after a certain time. And then also it has a countdown after closing breakout rooms option there. Okay, so once you have these, you want to go ahead and open all the rooms, and you'll see at the bottom, you see they're not joined, but since I had that option, it's taking them automatically. So you see everybody else here has not joined. So these are the light names over here. And if you wanted to maybe go ahead and check on that a small group, you do have that option. You can click here, join. And so that student that's late, you also have the option here to assign. So assign to, and then you either click Ms. Yarbo or Ms. Adams for those students that join the class late. You see an option here which says broadcast a message to all. That's going to send a message to everybody in those small groups. So I can say return at 11:40, and they'll be able to see that message. Now, a word of caution: if you want to, let's say that they're going to end their class from the breakout rooms, it is important that you hit here where it says leave meeting. If you end the meeting for all, everybody's going to have their session terminated. So you want to click here, leave meeting, and you want to assign a new host. So maybe I can assign Ms. Yarbo or Ms. Adams as the new host, and their meeting will continue, and you can go ahead and end your session. But if you wanted them to return, then you have to send a message or just join and let them know. And yes, that's correct, Ms. Yarbo. You won't be moved automatically until I hit the open all rooms. Yes, I didn't mention that. So you have to hit the open all rooms. Okay, so that concludes the breakout room function. Are there any questions? A lot of teachers were asking me about this function. You're gonna have to kind of maneuver and play with it until you get comfortable. But are there any questions for me right now? Let me check the chat. Ms. Martinez is asking any other hints for Zoom. So anybody in the task force, if you guys want to share that, any other hints? Something that I can add is you can record just the same way that I'm doing. And it's actually something that I did with my students. Some students wouldn't make it to class during the spring semester. So I would record my lecture and then add it to the Google Class through YouTube. So I see a question, Ms. Manalo says, do you have to assign them first in the breakout room before they join so that when you click the breakout? So you want to select them first, Ms. Manalo? You want to select their names. So let me show you. You want to select the names, and then you're going to have, once you have your group set up, you want to hit open all rooms. When you click open all rooms, it will send everybody automatically if you have that option selected. If you don't have that option selected, then the students will have to join manually. So that's why I will recommend to have that option so the students can automatically be transferred to there. But you do have to click where it says open all rooms. And make sure there's always someone, a support staff, an adult with those students. You don't want to leave them on their own, otherwise they won't do any work. So just a word of caution, you do want to assign a support staff to be with that group. And if you're part of that that lead teacher in those breakout rooms, from experience, if you want to terminate your session from there, make sure everybody logs out first, because some students will just wander around and stay in that breakout room. I had that incident during my spring semester. So you do want to make sure that you see that everybody's out of the breakout room, and then you can exit. Ms. Yarbo's asking, how were you able to change the chat settings so that students could only message you? Yes, that's an important thing. I did have at the beginning of the spring semester where students were just on the chatting each other and not paying attention in class. So you do have the option to have them only message the host, which will be you. If you can either go into the Zoom or into the zoom.com settings, or if you see here on security, it says allow, let me share my screen. Okay, so here on security, if you have it, it would actually not allow. So you will have to go into the settings in the Zoom. So let me show you that really quickly. So you see here it says private chat. It says allow meeting participants to send a private one-to-one message to another. You will want to turn that off. It says here allow meeting participants to send a message visible to all participants. You can turn that off and modify it so that they can be able to only communicate with you. Okay, are there any other questions? Okay, so if there's no other questions, just to conclude our presentation, I do want to reiterate yesterday's Sabbath's presentation. If you go to my Sabbath's training with the credential that the host gave us, and search for Realize, you have the option to see the Google integration. You have a handout PDF and of different views of how student will see. So this one here says create Google Classroom class and add teachers. It has an overview of how the students and teachers will see it for the first time. So that's an option here in Pearson Realize. In my Sabbath training, when students join, they'll see this menu here. And if they're using their AAL account, this message will be automatically in their system. So all they have to do is click join. So that's when I say you don't have to necessarily share that class code with them because they'll see this pop-up menu. So this is a resource if you want to go back and review one of those things in Google integration. Okay, final call for any questions, any concerns? And like I said, I did record this training, so if you need to go back, I will save it and send it to everybody. So if there's no more, I see somebody. You're welcome, Ms. Owa, Ms. Leon, Ms. Escobar.